Welcome to Deep Conversations Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Ryan Stewart, and today I'm blessed to be here with a business entrepreneur, Gabriel Dennis, and he is the owner of First Cafe.
Well, man, thanks, man.
Yeah,
thanks,
man.
man, for having me, man.
For being here, man. This is
seriously.
This is big for me, man. To have a an entrepreneur who's running a cafe that, like we talked about off camera. I don't think this has ever been. It's ever been done like this before.
Right.
Before we start, I want you to tell me, what was your idea? How did the idea come about of opening up a cafe?
So to be honest, we had I'm not the main owner, but I'm one of the owners. It came together with 5 families, right? The idea came together of bringing 5 families in the first luxury building inside the Bronx. It's the first luxury building to everything, 2 towers, and our CEO, who is also a real estate developer and a man of the cloth. He kind of wanted to do like a help mission as far as like bringing families together to produce something by us for us, and that was the idea behind it. Like I said, the idea was great. You don't always start with who you finish with. You don't finish with who you started with. Excuse me. But the idea was to create something that provided more luxury based off of. I don't want to use addictions, but something that people always want. Right, something that people need. Like one thing in New York, you see that, my family, my parents are Dominican, I'm Dominican, and my mom cannot function without her coffee in the morning. So,
that's my mom.
So that was the basis of, okay, people always gonna want their coffee. Like people get tired of waffles, they get tired of all that. Breakfast food, they don't get tired as much of like steak and like seafood and stuff like that. But predominantly breakfast, coffee, bagel, stuff like that. So they don't really get tired of it. And what our twist was since we're in the first luxury building, that's was why we called it First Level Cafe. Everything starts, based off, the real estate developers are playing on words. Everything starts from the first level. You build the foundation and go up. That was what it was. Trying to put something in here to I don't want to say make people more lazy than what they already are, but convenience, you know what I mean? Just try to bring that convenience. And I think that was the whole goal towards that. And the big key to that was actually bringing a butler service into a luxury building, something that's never been done, never been heard of in any place in America. When you hear butler service, you usually, tie that to hotel service, you know what I mean? But, to bring add that extra luxury piece, not only enhances us as a business, but it also enhances the building, so people will be more inclined to rent and stay longer. You know what I mean? Because who doesn't want to feel special? People pay you to feel special. You know what I mean? And that's that was what it was.
And I kind of want to get into that too, because
when
I was reading about it, I think that also builds people coming in early in the morning. That builds a confidence inside the customer too. It's like, and like they coming out here with these white gloves, you know what I mean? You got the napkin over your arm and stuff like that. And that's that small thing. Like I said, it ain't never been done before on the first level of an apartment building. It's like it's I don't know. That's something just to start your day. That's for me. I'll be like, man, I'm ready to go now. You know what I'm saying? It's now what's why do you feel that it was necessary? You kind of got into it a little bit, but why do you feel it was necessary to have like a luxury style cafe in the Bronx?
I think it was not only was it necessary, I think it was imperative that we do that so that we see us here, right? You have New York in the last, I would say, 15 years has gone through a series of change. The Bronx being the last standing borough that hasn't gone through that complete change. When you look at Brooklyn, Queens, most of Manhattan, the landscape has changed where, only a certain demographic of people are able to live here because of, the ever-changing climate when it comes to real estate development and, the large investments that's going around. So, part of the idea was to get in early. When you get in these spaces early and you set a foothold and become, make this like a cultural space where we're here and we provide services to our own people, then that I feel like that changed the narrative. because I don't like the word gentrification. I like revitalization. If we can do it, we're not gentrifying it, but we just revitalizing. We making it for you, making it better so that you respect it. Now, hey, now you're not throwing garbage on the floor. Now you respecting the space. You feel good. Like, okay, I don't have to go all the way downtown to experience this. I could experience this in my own backyard. So I think that was what it was. And when what the joy that I get out of it is, I'm here every day. You know what I mean? I'm also, I do the public relations and, managing partner. So, I wear a lot of hats, but I try to, like interact with the people as much as possible, because I feel like that's where you get, that feedback that you need. Like, okay, this what works, this what doesn't work, and the first initial reaction when those people come into the door is like, wow, this is fire. You know what I mean? This is fire. This is different in here. Like, and it's like we haven't even finished the we're trying to build like a book nook, do some trellises, get some plant life in here, whatever the case may be. But even like the minimalistic colors that we have in here and like the wood, how it matches, everything is on point. Like, my partner, he's very meticulous when it comes to things. So, he's a big Virgo. So like, how they are, man. So,
and I think that's good too. Like you said, people coming in there and it's like it's like, it's I hate to say, when you grow up in the hood, you know what I mean? It's an environment change. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, sometimes we never had the opportunity to see those kind of things. You know what I mean? If it was like, if you went on a date or something, it was like, let's go to this high-end restaurant, and then you can see. But to have that in the neighborhood, I think y'all know, because you're building it and y'all's ideas. But for me, as I'm looking at the website and stuff, I'm like, this is
different.
but this is going to be something that, obviously, because I was going to ask you later, but I'm going to ask you now.
Right.
Do y'all have plans of expanding out into different states? Because I'm going to tell you something like this. Delaware, they say it's the first state, but everything is slow over here, and that would be something dope down here to have, man.
Right. I mean, the idea was to predominantly like have like a chain of these things here in the Bronx, like predominantly in this area, the Mott Haven, South Bronx section, because a lot of revitalization is happening at this point. Being with a lot of the new construction and luxury buildings popping up all over the place. Like, we have eyes in putting a first level in the hip hop museum that they're doing over here. We also have another one around the corner. You know what I mean? It just helps when you have a real estate developer in the mix. You know what I mean? That helps, where you're able to kind of see and have a footprint in something, because now you're like kind of like ahead of the curve. And I thank God for it. Even my position here has been a blessing. You know what I mean? That's what I want to kind of like always give back, pay it forward. Like we had off camera, like I was an educator. I did bilingual special education, and pandemic. I was traveling. I was living my life. I was working. I was living in Colombia for a while, and then when I came back, New York started that whole thing with the shot. You had to get the shot, and I was heavily reluctant on getting that shot. So I made the decision to just like, I'm not going to do it. And my life had changed completely, and luckily I was able to land into a position where, I went from being a teacher to a doorman, you know what I mean? And I was a doorman in this building, and that is where I met my partner. And he saw something in me that allowed me, and it was literally me giving freely. Like, if anybody takes anything from this interview, one of the things that he said was, when you give, that is the key to wealth. You know what I mean? Giving without anything in return, or not at least seeking anything in return. Because I honestly, saw his vision and believed in it. And, I'm proactive. I'll be like, okay, I know this people, like, I'm a young guy, you know what I mean? I'm 34 years old. I've been outside, you know what I mean? I know a few people, you know what I mean?
For real,
so, So it's like, okay, he may not have the connections on that side. So, that's where I was able to find a niche. And he was like, yo, man, listen, he came to me and said, like, I'm gonna give you from me. Like, you know what I mean? He took from his rib and gave me this here. You know what I mean? And like those things don't happen, a blessing. And, I always will be thankful for it. And I want to continue paying that forward, moving on to any other business endeavors I have, because I have a lot. You know what I mean? I'm due for them ideas. But it's one thing I will always say: is not where you start, is where you finish. And one of the things that I want people to understand is that you finding your purpose may not be easy, but once you find it, then nothing else makes sense. And I found my purpose. You know what I mean? I wanted to teach, but I wanted to teach in my own way, and I wanted to help. And I enjoy coming in, talking to clients, talking to customers, talking to my staff. You know what I mean? It's just been a roller coaster ride, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's it's something, man, because when I started this podcast, I knew what I wanted to do, but I kind of didn't have a full, so listen
scope.
Yeah, so it's like, and listening to you, and it's been with a few of the guests on here, but I kind of feel like listening to you, I kind of
you're able to connect. You can hear yourself,
and I can hear myself in it. You know what I mean? Because when I first started the podcast, I started doing it, and as I was, going on with it, I'm like, I really like, this is what I really want to do. You know what I mean? This is what I've always wanted to. Growing up, I always wanted to be on like a radio station or something like that. I'm like, I want to do something like that. So when the podcast thing came about, I started doing it.
Right.
And it was like the beginning of 2022. I said to myself, look, I was just walking. I was just praying to myself, just, going about the day. But I'm talking to God. I'm like, look, I know what I want to do. I'm working a 9 to 5 at this point, but I'm like, I know what I want to do. All I ask is by the end of 2022, by the December 31st, just if you can get me out of this job, I'll be good.
Right.
I put my head down and I'm like, I ain't think nothing else about it.
Right.
And like, I want to say after Thanksgiving, after the holidays, my boss came to me afterwards and was like, look, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but December 16th is going to be your last day. So I sat back in the chair and I kind of smile, right? And she's like, she's looking at me. She's like, yo, I thought you was going to be a little bit more upset. And I'm like, you don't even know what I prayed for way back then. You know what I mean? But like you said, it's like,
look at God, man. Look at God.
It's like when you know what you want to do, it's like moving forward, a lot of stuff don't make sense, but it's like you get a certain confidence of like, I'm good. I'm good with it, and it's gonna work.
Right. Cast your fears on his shoulders, man. That's what I did, bro. Yep. That's what I did, man. Honestly, that's what it was.
And like you said, your real estate investor, he saw something in you. You know what I mean? And it's like you knew you had it, but it was just like
I needed that extra boost. Like it was just like, no man is ever honored in his house. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? No man is ever honored in his house. So I had to go outside, you know what I mean, to actually see my potential, what my purpose was. And, one of the things that he would tell me was that, God knows the Gabe that Gabe hasn't met yet. You know what I mean? So it's like, what, like, and I'm like, I looked at him like, man, what you talking about? But I'm like, what you talking about, man? I know myself, man. I'm a grown man. Like, but this is what I'm thinking in my head. But he was like, nah, man, you don't know yourself yet, man. God already wrote the book on you. He's just now, looking at you, what you're supposed to do. In the meantime, if he just gave you the book, things was gonna happen the way it was gonna happen, right? So you got to kind of live it out the way it was written, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And like, I thank God every day for it, man. Like God has played a huge role in, without him, nothing is possible. So, I always thank the Most High in that regard. But yeah, like definitely, like that's what it was. Like that mentorship, that guidance. Like I said, I didn't I don't really have a father. I don't really have a father figure, so that now in my grown man age, having that guidance, working with a not only a real estate developer, but a pastor at that.
I
Man,
know.
come on, man, that's crazy.
See,
I'm
and
sorry.
but that's the thing though. That's why I said I feel like a lot of your path is kind of mine because I'm I just started into it's a sports TV show on Comcast, and
Okay,
the guy who reached out to me, me and him have become like
like this, inseparable, right?
yeah, and I'm like I watch him, I don't know if he know, you know what I'm saying, but I watch him and just because the stuff that he does and the way he moves, he got businesses, he's got daycares and stuff like that. It's like just that everyday
Grind.
And that knowledge you can get from it too. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, man.
That's something that's like
Priceless, right?
gold.
Priceless, right?
Yeah,
Priceless.
it's like gold, and it's crazy. And what you was talking about, about your life and stuff too. He had said to me one day, he was like, "You gotta." Kind of had a similar conversation, but he said, you got to understand about the Bible. Everything is written at the end. First, that's the beginning
right.
of it. He said,
Revelation is the beginning.
It's the beginning.
Right. Yo,
he like,
you got some discernment there, brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was like, he said that Revelation, he said the end of the Bible is the beginning. He said, so when he made you, he already made your ending already. You just got to live it out. Right. And I'm like, once you get information like that, it's like
it's a different level, man. Like
that's peace right there.
Of course.
That's what
it's like. No matter, of course, it's like listen. I'm just living it out because God knows how it's gonna end regardless. So I gotta live my life to the fullest. You know what I mean? Fearless, because all my doubts, all my worries, everything is gonna be on his shoulders. Because at the end of the day, when you think he doesn't love you, he loves you the most.
That's
that was what it was like. And I say this with conviction. Before, like, I'll be like, man, I'll go through some stuff in my life. I'm like, man, God don't love me, man. But then when I look at other people's situation, I'll be like, maybe God does love me. You know what I mean?
Like, and then sometimes that kind of stuff, my dad had told me, he's like, look, when you going through stuff, whether it be, there's a death in the family, whatever it be going through, however hard the job or whatever it is, he's like, he's only showing you this stuff because he's preparing you for stuff later down the line. He was like, you have to learn to find the good in everything.
Okay, of course, you gotta. I thank God for the bad stuff. One of the things that even in this business, in this business venture that I've been on, when you say you want to walk with God, right? So God be like, all right, say you want to walk like me, right? Okay, that's what you said, right? You said that, right? You made that promise, Gabe. So you get people don't understand that the riches come in the rags, right? So it's like people look at me and be like, and there'll be times like I'll be here, people be like, you don't own it. I'm like, you're not coming with some regular guy, and then you got to deal with outside noise and doubters, naysayers, the no support, you know what I mean? But you got to keep trucking, you got to keep moving, keep going, and you have to be tested to have a testimony. You know what I mean? So that was what some of the things that I was going through, that I continue to go through, but I continue to persevere through the grace of God. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna keep saying God, because I have this because of him. Seriously, man. Yeah, seriously.
See, and I always, say, a lot of people don't like to hear that. You know what I mean? For me, I'm like, even the people who just say they don't want to hear it and all that kind of stuff, when something goes wrong, like who you hollering for?
God, why me? God help me.
That's the first person you talking to. Yeah, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's
he like, I ain't never left.
Yeah.
I ain't never left.
I ain't never left. Yeah, you just ain't turned around.
Yeah, you just ain't hear me. You know what I mean? Remember when I put that rock in front of you and you stumbled over it? But if you ain't listened to it, you probably would have got hit by a car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, and people see. So I'm gonna ask you, for the business that you have, what would you say the core values are for?
Core values. Everything God first. These when you walk into these doors, and I'm gonna say this with conviction, these doors are anointed. You know what I mean? When you come in here, everything is to serve. You know what I mean? To walk with God, to when we say Christians is to be Christ-like, to serve at the end of the day. That's what he did. So, the core values is, for us, by us, what I mean, to serve as a community, be a staple in the community, be a cultural center here, things that, like even like I did something like, I know I'm in a cereal bar. I'm in a cafe right now. I have a crazy cereal bar, right? 75 cereals, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a pilot program. I'm going to give back to the kids or whatever. So I had kids from a local high school come in, just eat cereal on me, no problem. Don't pay for nothing. And it was a success. Like, so many people came in here, and I'm like, these kids was like, what? This is in the Bronx? Like, what are you talking? This ain't what? Like, what? You know what I mean? And they're like, nah. Some of these things, like, I feel bougie. I feel like I'm on Park Ave. Like, there's leather seats in here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's that feeling of, okay, we can have this too, and we deserve it. And that was a good feeling. You know what I mean? To have people that look like me see people that look like them doing things for them. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, customer is my boss. You know what I mean? Like people like to always say like, oh, entrepreneur, this, blah, blah, blah. But you're not really an entrepreneur until you fill those voids, man. And I felt like we filled that void of being the first to do it, first of its kind, in the Bronx, in the first luxury building. You know what I mean? So we here, man. And we the only thing on this trip.
Yeah, see, because when I started following you, the first thing popped up was you were on the news.
Okay, yeah,
right? Yeah. Right, so right. And that had to be like probably the most recent thing that happened. So I'm like, that clip, as I'm watching the clip, people just see it as it's a news story. You know what I'm saying? But for me, the way I looked at it, I'm like, this is somebody of color who has gotten noticed, because most of the time the media that we get
is for shooting somebody, killing somebody.
Yeah, and it's
robbing, drugs.
And it's bad media. So for the outside media, I'm gonna say, for white people, for attention to get to them about something that you're doing,
right?
And it's something positive too. And then I think one of the things that kind of touched on, was making it so big. Like you said, you got 75 cereals, and that's just for your, the breakfast part of it. But you have 5 cereals, and I want you to tell the people that's going to see this.
Right. So like we got 75 different cereals. You can infuse it. I know in your home state in North Carolina, I had one of the residents tell me, he was like, yo, this is crazy, because in my home state in North Carolina, I think she's from Durham, like where North Carolina, where between what's that, Tobacco Road between Duke and UNC or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So she's like, yo, they got same thing over there, and they sell out all year round. So what we do is we infuse it with different toppings. You can make a milkshake, you can make some cream. I don't know if you ever been up to New York to like Kith does stuff like that, and they have a thing called milk and cream, but they don't have nothing like that in the Bronx. So we want to bring that to the Bronx. You know what I mean? We make it so convenient that we try to bring things that is so unreachable. You got to go far to go get it. We want to bring it right here. Like, why we can't bring it right here?
See, and that's what
convenience. That's all it's about.
And see, and that's what I'm saying. And then, like you said, when you walk through the doors, I mean, it changes people as soon as you walk in. First of all, just from the atmosphere. You know what I mean? Before I got on here, look, I was telling my wife, I'm like, yeah, do the podcast and everything like that. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I always get, I guess it's just because of the unknown. You don't know how the interview and stuff's going to go. And I'm like, I'm going to do the podcast, sent my kids and stuff upstairs. But I was a little nervous, because I'm like, I don't know how the interview's going to go. As soon as we got on, it was just like,
bro, it was a conversation, man.
But it was just just the vibe though was just
Right.
it was just smooth. You know what I mean? And it was just like I'm like, all right, we good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's been sometimes I've had interviews where I couldn't air it because just the vibe. I mean, I went through with the interview, but I'm like,
Right.
well, this vibe is this
It's
vibe.
just off. It's off. It's
Yeah,
off.
I'm like, this
Like
ain't.
it's just like dry. It's like you're not having a conversation.
It's like,
There's no like fluidity in nothing. It's not. I get you. I get you.
and I'm like, this ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where some of the stuff, but it's, and I can tell now that's how it is walking into your cafe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got, like I said, I was looking on the website. I'm like you said, the kids, they like, yo, you got leather seats up.
Yeah, but that's the thing that was funny. Yo, Ryan, they told me I had a similar conversation. It's crazy when you talk about that. The girl that interviewed me, the reporter, I moved her in the building when I was a doorman in here. Crazy. She was like, Gabe, you own this? I don't Gabe. That's the homie. I'm like, yeah, it's me here, man. And she was like, oh nah, this is gonna be great. But like you gotta have it's like they cut the interview up to like 60 seconds or whatever. I get it. And they caught the same spot that I was telling you about how the kids were giving me the reaction about the leather seats. That's what they aired on the TV. I'm like, man, I ain't say that, but listen, it's cool, it's fine. It kind of gelled with the whole grand scheme of things. So I wasn't mad about it. I was just happy to just tell my story. But I'm glad that I'm able to do it with you now in podcast form, and people could get the full length and the full scope of my purpose and what I'm doing here.
And I asked you earlier, if you was planning on spending, and I know that's care of itself and everything.
Right, I didn't answer that. You're right. I want to because I had the Arches building, right? It's 2 towers, and on the second tower they have 2 levels of they have a hotel. So when people come, they can stay here. It's run by Global Luxury Suites, and we had some people coming here, like they stay in the hotel, or when before they check in, they come here, and I greet them. I had these girls from A-Town, from Houston. And it was like, man, this is what you doing over here. You need to come down here. And I'm like, And I've been to Houston. I like Houston. I ain't gonna lie. I like Houston. It's nice over there. It's nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I like Houston a little bit more than I like Atlanta. But
I know.
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like Atlanta maybe 10 years ago. Right? But Houston is where it's at.
Atlanta's a little bit more commercial.
I feel like it's New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's New York. It's really no difference. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was thinking about that. Like maybe Houston. I want to go to predominantly black and Hispanic epicenters. Let that be Atlanta, Miami, Houston. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to really go out to LA or nothing like that. But in the grand scheme of things, like it has to fit the bill as far as like a luxury building. I want to provide extra luxury in an already luxury building. Because the thing about it is that when you think about a luxury building, like, is it really luxury? Because you got a doorman, you got some amenities, you got somebody to open doors for you or whatever, but it's not real luxury. Like, what makes you special? You know what I mean? What makes you stand out? Nah, hey, yo, Mr. Stewart, here goes your hot chocolate and your croissant this morning or something. Here go your bill, whatever. Come roll it out for you. That's special.
And that's what, and then that's why, and when I keep saying like the feel, even how you promote your business from the website. I mean, it just has a luxury feel to it. You know what I mean? And
right.
Like, it changes everything for you in the morning. If somebody, in the morning, you don't know how some people may wake up, man. You don't know the kind of demons people living with.
Right.
So when you walk into a space like this, and it's like, how you doing? How you doing, Mr. Stewart? How you doing? And you talking to them, and you calm all that down.
Right. They know your kid's name. They know your dog name. They know your mammy and your pappy. They know everybody.
What is from you starting your business, into now? What are some of the things that you wish that you knew? Business wise, that you learned business wise now that you wish you kind of knew from the beginning, that probably could have saved you from some things.
Budgeting. I was budgeting, right?
Yeah.
How to find the best deal. You know what I mean? That was probably one of the things that I had to learn quickly. Because when you're looking at your statements at the end of the month, like, I'm spending that on this?
Yeah,
No. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And then they got to, like I said, the ends got to justify the means. So you try to get the best deal and definitely keep to a budget so that you can see you can minimize the, the profit and loss margin and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, I think that'll probably be the thing that I learned in business. And I think, like I said, stated before, I think it was just finding your purpose. Because then when you finally find that, it's not business anymore. It's part of your life. You know what I mean? And like to the point that like I wake up, I'm like I go to sleep, right? And I wake up, I'm like in like a cold sweat, like did I make that order this? Did I make this order this morning? Because I know I
yeah,
got open up at 7:30. Oh, okay, damn. One of my workers called out. All right, let me call fun, make sure we got something, in the works to put somebody else. You know what I mean? Because then I mean, I gotta go get up and go do it too. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I will never ask any of my employees something that I won't physically do myself. Like I'll do this, I'll sweep, I'll mop, I'll clean the bathroom, I'll ring up. I'm not making no sandwich. I'm not doing that. But I'll probably pour you some drip coffee. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'll probably do that. And maybe some hot tea. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Maybe a little razzle dazzle on the honey. That's about it. But I'll do mostly everything in it because this is my first baby and I want this thing to really, really flourish. And I see the potential. That's why I go so hard.
And it's I had an interview with somebody, and we were talking about the same thing you was just talking about. When you know what you want to do and your purpose, you can't turn that off.
Nah.
You know what I mean? It's your mind is constantly 24/7. I mean, even with this, I'm like, I mean, I could sometimes I'm like, all right, I may need a little break. I'll take a little, a break from it, like a day or two, and I'm gonna just kind of, get myself back together. But even in them 2 days, I'm like, you'll never stop working because your mind is just, I gotta do this. I got, I want to do this. I want to try to do this. And that creative seed was planted way back then, and now
Oh
that
my God, I'm telling you, you don't even understand. It's like you just plant the seeds and you know, it's my partner says planting seeds, I forgot what he said exactly, but on I think it's the gist of it is good soil, you know what I mean, on good soil. You know what I mean? Not on stony soil or whatever it is.
yeah,
Planting on good soil so that you see you're able to grow, you can take your water and you're able to, reap from your, tilling the land. You know what I mean? That's why I'm tilling the land every day. Every day. I'm here every day. You know.
yeah. And it just feels good. Where do you I'm gonna ask you, where do you see your business going in 5 years?
5 years. Wow. Okay. Honestly, that's the first time I've ever been asked that question. Where do I see the business in 5 years? I see this. First of all, I see me patenting that whole Butler service in the residential building. That's a fact. You know what I mean? You want that idea?
Yeah, you have to.
Maybe,
Yeah, that's something because that's going. Somebody's going to see that. They're going to pick up on that quick, man.
of course, man. But we got the team around there. We doing that. If not, it should be done. You know what I mean? So, definitely seeing that. I see us, with the success of this business moving into other luxury buildings, not only in the Bronx but in New York City. The idea was to build a Tulsa, where kind of like a Black Wall Street of different businesses in this area. You know, it's imperative, like I told you in the beginning of the interview, Ryan, that we are the faces that you see when you come here. You know what I mean? Because some of the things that you hear, especially we did a post, um, you know, where we had an influencer come in and kind of gave us like our first boost. And we had a lot of great reviews. But you get the little things of gentrification, all that stuff. That's why it's important that you see faces like mine and yourself in these spaces so that we are, the staple. We are the movers and shakers. We are the long standing residents and stuff like that that have a say in what goes on in our community. So that's probably like the most important thing. So the Tulsa thing is just like, okay, we're gonna plant these seeds all over here and we're gonna keep watering, tilling the land. And as it grows, we grow, and we want to build it, you know what I mean?
And then to where like you said, people are saying hood gentrification. It's like this is part of something that you're doing, and it's like to where people can believe in something that can be done like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like it's what do you, it's like for me, hearing that, I'm like, what do you think? What is that hood gentrification? It's like, what do you mean? We better in this community. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Like,
Right.
I don't
Well, I mean, but at the end of the day, like, not Rome wasn't built in one day, and not you can't convince everybody. You know what I mean? Not everybody was given a vision. You know what I mean? Like I told some family members, like not everybody's gonna believe in you, man. Like I told you, you're never honored in your own home. You know what I mean? Or in your house. So you gotta go outside and then they see, okay, this is for real. Like, be honest with you, people didn't really believe me till they saw me on TV. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a TV thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you for real? Oh, it's like that? Okay. And then, I'm like, but I've been telling you,
Yeah.
But like I said, like, God gave me the vision. He didn't give it to them. So that's why, I keep pushing. And that's what's the vision. And I tell people they think I'm be bugging out, but I'm like, listen, I got the vision. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. Like I gotta keep pushing because I know, you know, where I'm destined to be. My key to success and my key to wealth is through food and real estate. That's what we doing.
Yep. And
That's what we
yep. And you doing it. I got I got two more questions. This one,
doing.
how because I think we all sometimes kind of deal with it, but how do you deal with fear and doubt sometimes when that creeps in?
Mm-hmm. You said fear and doubt.
Yeah, yeah. How do you deal with fear and doubt sometimes when that creeps in?
Um, um, you know, um, I think it's first God. Like we said, casting my fears and my doubts on his shoulder. And like I'm human. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? So sometimes I gotta go pray in my closet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And tell them, my worries and the things that I'm going through, and how, I mean, I don't know if you're into the zodiac, but I'm a Scorpio, man. We could be very vindictive. We could be
I'm a Scorpio too.
a whole bunch of things, man. But but we
I'm a
ambitious
Scorpio
people.
too.
Oh, you Scorpio? Oh man, see, like
That's what
that's why I flow.
that's
That's
what I
why I
said.
flow.
Yep.
So it was important that we you know we definitely keep going and definitely doing what we have to do because us as Scorpios we're very 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 focused. We're like hard workers. This is what we do. We gotta get to it. You know what I mean? You see Drake, you see Puffy, you see all these people.
Yeah.
That's what we do. You know what I mean? Bill
Yeah.
Gates, you know what it is. So I think it's important that we, with fear and doubt, I just leave it up to God because I can feel myself getting into that Scorpio vibe, like, man, listen, being skeptical, doubting, but I just continue to push forward. I think, you know, consistency and perseverance. You know what I mean? That's the name of the game. I always talk about the 6 P's. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. You know what I mean? So just prepare myself every day to just, all right, man, I'm gonna put the coat of arms on. God got me. Ready to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Now, from you being when you first started your business, what have you learned about yourself mentally and spiritually?
Mentally and spiritually. Mentally, that I'm much stronger than what I thought I was,
Mm.
because in my younger years I was a fly off the handle type of thing. Any little thing, always go time.
Yep.
Learn to be let your words be few, yea or nay. Mm.
Mm.
You never let your people. You never let you always want to confront your adversary, your enemy, but you want to do it in a way where it's not to your detriment. You know what I mean? You want to walk. If you're walking like Christ, you got to be able to forgive, but you don't got to walk with the person. You don't got to walk with those people. You know what I mean? You just keep your eye on the sparrow. God gave me the vision, so definitely mentally, spiritually, I think me, like I told you, God broke me in the right places so He could build me back up. I had to start from zero. Like I told you, when you go from having a government job, your stuff is secure. That's one of the things that my parents told me. My mother, I was raised by women, so like my mother, my aunt, my grandmother, go to school, get education. I did all those things, but it wasn't just fulfilling me at the time. So it's like when you go from making a decent living to making nothing, and then going to making $16 an hour, because that's what I was making as a doorman. Like, man, God broke me down in some serious places, man.
Yeah.
In the right places so that now I can, like the phoenix, I'm rising out of the ashes, brand new, with a different mindset, mentally and spiritually, and everything through Him, through the grace of God. I thank God every day for that, because I needed that. Because for a long time, I was like, yeah, I don't want, yeah, guys, yeah, whatever, okay.
Yeah.
But He was like, okay, I'm gonna show you that I'm real, I exist, and that I am your father, and I'm gonna keep to my word. And I've been blessed ever since. You know what I mean? For the first time ever, I got on my knees. You know what I mean? I said, I can't do anything without you, God. It was literally probably an eye opener for me, because everything that I tried, Brian, I tried to do, wasn't working. Anything I tried, I'm telling you, I tried everything. And it was just like, okay. It's like, no, he's just, everything's going because this is not where I'm destined to go. God already wrote the book. He's just like, come this way.
Yeah, and the rough part about it, when he's trying to move us, most of us are so stubborn that we're fighting against him.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go over there. I want to stay over here and I want to try to fix this or finish this. And it's like, nah, you don't be hard headed, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
man. Listen to your daddy. Listen to your daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. That is, yeah, man.
That's what it was. That's what it was, man. That's what it was. And that was just the things that I had to go through, man. Like, I'm talking about God took everything.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, but when I tell you dead broke.
Yeah. See, and that's what it was for me. It was that fear came from me. It was there when she was like, you know what, this is gonna be your last day. You know what I mean? And then it was like, I got a mortgage though. Like, I asked for this, but then it's like them thoughts start coming in your head. It's like, I got a mortgage. God was like, well, this is what you asked for. So now you got to trust it though. How much are you going to trust what you asked for? Now I'm giving it to you. You asked me to get you out of here by the 31st. I got you out of here by the 16th. So now, are you going to trust it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to trust it, but
you're still skeptical. That's our nature.
Yeah, it's like this over here. This ain't working. He's like, I got you, because if you read the word, I already told you the 3 things that I'm promising you is shelter over your head, food in your stomach, and clothes on your back. It's what else you worried about? Because those are the things that's those even people who say they homeless, they got somewhere to go. They got clothes that they can wear. So it's like, you don't need to be tripping about no monetary stuff. I got that. Just do what I'm asking you to do. And again, like you said, I got this vision for you. Follow it.
Right.
Just follow it. Just follow what I'm telling you to do, and just trust it. And this work. And man, look, I'm gonna tell you the things that you're doing. I'm a salute you now, because the things that you're doing it's necessary. People, a lot of people, the vision. I don't know. Sometimes I have thoughts of like, what are people's visions? And it's good for me to see people again that look like me, that are fulfilling their visions. And this is something, like I said, ain't never been done. And you're giving confidence to people, and just, a place for people to go and just to feel like they're worth something, because they are.
Right. That was the idea, man. That was the idea. Like I said, for us, by us, man.
Yeah.
That was a big thing, man. Food. I don't want to take from my man Damon John, but I'm sorry, God. If I gotta write you a check, I'm sorry, man. But that's just what it is, man. I want to show people that this is possible, man. This is possible. Like, and that this is something that's achievable for any person. They put their mind thing. I was blessed, people have to buy into stuff like this, and it was given to me because I gave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Please, I'm telling you, if when you do your cuts, giving, please You have to give.
Mhm.
You have to give. If you want to walk, if you say you want to, you believe in God, you want to walk with God, you have to give. Our mission is to serve, man. Seriously, I'm gonna keep saying that. You know what I mean? And I honestly say that with conviction because I did it, and I was blessed, man. I thought that, God gave up on me, man, but he was just like, man, you just wasn't listening.
Mm.
You just wasn't listening. So when I finally, wised up and stopped being stupid, I was able to see what it was. Because even when this man said, "Yeah, I'm gonna open this business, man. You're gonna be my partner." I was like, "Yeah, right.
No,
I'm like, "Yeah."
it's
Like,
it's
he's
weird.
like,
It's like you can't hear it. Like
"No." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Yeah, yeah." I'm skeptical, man. How we Scorpios, man. We skeptical, man. We
yeah,
skeptical. I don't want to hear it. So he said, "Yeah, you're gonna be my partner." I'm like, "Okay." He doing construction. He was treating me like a stepchild. He wasn't picking up my phone calls. I'm like, this man is I'm gonna be his partner, but we doing construction. I'm not getting no updates or nothing. He's like, man, listen, I'm a man of my word. I say you're gonna be my partner, man. Just relax. Let me take care of the stuff, and I got you. You know what I mean? And then everything came to fruition like this, man. And in 3 months, you know what I mean? Like
but
I tell people like three is a good number, man. I worked at the doorman for 3 months. We've been open for 3 months. We did construction for 3 months. Powerful, man. And then our address, hear this, man. Our address is changing to 222.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
222 East 135th Street. Come on, man.
All that
New
stuff.
beginnings, man.
Yeah, all that stuff. See, and that's the thing. Like when you said, when he finally was like, everything started working. I, I guarantee 99% of the time is when you were calling him, he wasn't answering. When you stopped worrying about it and stopped thinking about it, that's when he called you out the blue one day, right?
No, seriously, that's what happened. I needed to, actually believe that I was gonna cast all my fears and down on his shoulder, and then he was gonna guide me through it all. And he said, "Listen, he's never gonna give you more than you can bear." So I think, I'm built for it tough, man. I want to tell you, I'm built for this entrepreneur stuff. I'm built for, multitasking, doing the things, man. I answer emails to the ones who listen. To be on an interview with you right now, Ryan, I had to keep my joint on airplane mode and just use the Wi-Fi so people don't bother me. Nah, man, I'm being honest with you, man. Like if it's not one thing, it's another. Oh, I want to rent the space. Oh, can I stop in? Can I have a conversation? Can we do an interview? I'm like, listen, man, now I'm gonna dedicate my time. I want people to hear my story and use this as a source of inspiration. That things are possible, dreams come true, and through the grace of God, perseverance and belief in yourself, all is achievable.
Now, where can they find you on social media, man?
So my business is First Level Cafe. You'll find us at TikTok and Instagram. My personal Instagram, it's funny, because people, it doesn't have nothing to do with my name, but J Prince, J underscore PRYINCEE. The reason why I chose that name was because my dad, he used to say that, I'm a black prince, and I'm like, yeah, I like Black Prince, but I just want to just be a prince. So that's why I just like just Prince.
Yeah,
That's what it was. I don't like that connotation. Like yes, I know I'm black, but why can't I just be a prince? You don't say white prince, right?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? You don't say Spanish prince. You don't say caramel prince. You don't say
It's always I know.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather you say Ethiopian prince because we come from the land of Ethiopia.
Yeah.
You say that. You know what I mean? That's cool. Just don't say black.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know that. You can see my skin. I can't hide it, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Man, I appreciate you so much, man, for jumping on my podcast.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful conversation, man. Seriously.
No, but I appreciate you, man, for getting on, man. I do. We definitely gonna stay in touch.
Nah, definitely, Ron. Whatever you need from me, I got you. I'll give you my map, my personal number. I'll follow you on the IG, and we'll keep in touch, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you, man.
You're on YouTube, baby.